Are you a student teacher that wants to know how to get the best out of your student teaching experience? If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel where I share the latest support, insights, strategies, and candid advice about teaching social studies. If you're new to this channel, hi, I'm Cecilia Tames, and I'm an experienced educator and consultant. And I provide resources, support, and solutions for passionate history teachers like you. Be coachable. No one shows up to teaching knowing everything. That's just the fact of the matter. Now, if you really want to get the most out of this teaching experience, you want to be willing to be a team player and follow guidance and feedback. You also want to make sure you leave all the preconceived notions you think you have about teaching at the door, because ultimately this will allow you to really be open-minded about new learning experiences. It'll give you space to grow and learn new ways of imparting instruction. Remember, you're still learning. Don't be shy about asking questions. The only dumb question you can ask yourself is why in the world you were too shy to ask a question. Now, I have to forewarn you that teaching is one of those professions where if you're not asking, then it's assumed that you know it and you know what you're doing, which is ironic because the last thing you want to do as a teacher is assume things. Questions beget clarity, and clarity begets improvement. Now, I promise you, you're not annoying your mentor teacher. They're there to help you. They want you to be a successful first-year teacher because they remember how hard it is, okay? So ask questions. So if you don't ask, we don't know to help you. Don't replicate, innovate. Now, while it's super flattering to have somebody imitate your teaching style, the idea behind this internship is for you to develop your own teaching style. Now, one thing that helped me during my certification program is that I was sent to different classrooms to observe and take notes from different teachers. And to be quite honest with you, even as a licensed educator with over a decade of experience, I still go and observe my colleagues because there's always something new to learn. Now, your teaching style is essentially going to be a combination of your personality, your experience, and the techniques that you observe that you feel best align with your personal style. Add value. Now, earlier I mentioned that it's important to be coachable, but this internship is also your opportunity for you to flex your skills in real time, which means if you have ideas or up-and-coming educational strategies that you've learned that you feel would fit in well with your mentor's style, take the initiative and share your insight. Because even as a new teacher, I can guarantee you that you have skills, knowledge, and abilities that make you a valuable asset to any teacher's classroom. Not only that, but sharing in the teacher community actually helps create trust and camaraderie. And if you watch my channel, I've said it before and I'm gonna say it again, teaching is a team sport. Now, I can still recall my first year teaching, and I will forewarn you, I feel like every new teacher, even sometimes experienced teachers, experience imposter syndrome. You may doubt that your ideas are even worth sharing. But let me ask you this. Would you rather find out that your idea flopped in a safe setting where you can get feedback and support from your mentor teacher? Or would you rather find out that your lesson idea or your strategy is a disaster when you're actually the teacher of record solely responsible for your students' learning? Journal your day. Now, when I was completing my certification program, this was, believe it or not, one of the things that most irked me because it was a requirement for my program and it didn't have to be anything fancy, literally just a Word document with the date and a couple sentences for the day. However, looking back on it now, I can tell you that this is probably one of the most invaluable assignments that I could have been tasked with. Not only did journal help me keep a record of what I covered in class, but it also helped me to really process emotions and events of the day. Now, if you watched my video, Be a Successful First Year Teacher, you hear that I talk about the importance of learning how to de-escalate ourselves and really practice that self-control and that self-discipline. Because if we cannot manage ourselves and our own emotions and de-escalate ourselves, how can we possibly model for students how they can do this. Journaling can actually help you gain that clarity and help you process your thoughts so you can actually detach yourself from anything that might happen that day that was said by a student, or an event that really bothered you, or feedback that really bummed you out, etc. Now, I mentioned earlier that teaching is a team sport. So if you've student taught before, or you're getting ready to wrap it up, drop your little wisdom nugget below and help a colleague out. Don't treat this experience like a jobby. Now, first of all, you may be wondering, what in the world is a jobby? So I'm going to actually credit a very well-known business coach named Tiffany Carter with this one. But essentially, it's when you don't go all in on a job and you treat it more of like a hobby. Now, on the same topic, part of taking your student teaching experience seriously is making a good impression. So that means be on time, dress professionally, show up to duty, don't be friends with students, because there is a difference between having excellent rapport with your class and literally just being on the same level as a friend with your students. Don't be on your phone regardless of what you see other teachers doing. Be kind and courteous to everyone on campus, and always be willing to help. Now, the reason I tell you that this matters and impressions matter is because you want to think of student teaching as an extended interview. This could potentially set you up and open doors for you to have the opportunity to land your first teaching job. Don't get hung up on feedback. Okay, look, real talk. No one likes to hear that their lesson sucked. But at the same time, how can anyone hope to improve if they don't hear constructive criticism about their teaching? I can personally tell you that I honestly wish I had had more frequent and more constructive feedback early on in my career, because that definitely would have saved my class from being tortured with pointless, overly complex, boring lessons. Feedback is your friend. Classroom management and lesson creation. So two of the topics that are most challenging and that just cannot compare to real life experience is managing the classroom and learning how to construct realistic, engaging, creative lessons. Now, of course, in our teacher trainings, we are taught the essentials of classroom management, and we may be taught how to write a lesson plan and spend weeks on it and make it super elaborate, but nothing compares to seeing this skill actually applied in real life. And as a full-time consultant and mentor, I can tell you right now that those are two things that my mentees really struggle with coming into the profession. Your student will not learn if your relationships are non-existent and if your classroom management system is inefficient. And you won't be able to sustain student engagement and your students' trust if you don't know how to create lessons that are intentional, that make sense, that address the required content, and that are fun. Now, if you are having trouble with that and want to stay one step ahead of the learning curve, check out Teach Like an Influencer Academy, where I coach you step by step on how you can prepare and organize for school so you can create intentional, targeted, organized, effective, engaging, and successful learning experience for your students, even as a first-year teacher. Practice doing what makes you the most nervous. Now, the only way of getting rid of your nerves and banishing that imposter syndrome that is totally normal and natural for every teacher to feel is by actually getting in that practice. If talking in front of the class is what gets you nervous, then volunteer to do that direct instruction. If planning is your weak spot, collaborate with your mentor teacher and make those lessons. Managing the class, ask those questions and jump into it. Student teaching is a great time to build up your confidence. So give yourself the opportunity, or ask for the opportunity, to face your fears. Get that feedback and try again. In the words of another favorite mentor, teaching is test, fail, learn, grow, repeat. If you're a first-year history teacher that wants to join a supportive group of colleagues that'll be there to celebrate your wins and provide support your first year teaching, make sure to join my free Facebook group, the History Teachers Lounge, by clicking the link down below. Or consider joining my newsletter for additional tips, strategies, information, and support on teaching social studies without the burnout. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, class dismissed.